Evidence of climate change is increasingly more obvious. The UK alone has had the hottest June since records began. So what is it that's stopping collective society from taking climate change more seriously? I'm Annie Hood. Hello and welcome to Well-Intel Daily. This is the podcast that makes wellbeing work for you and your business. An article in The Conversation recently, and it was highlighted by the Monthly Barometer, wonders whether the increasingly acute effects of climate change that are now being felt by wealthy and high carbon emitting countries will persuade people to act with greater conviction to avert or mitigate the issues that threaten people's lives and livelihoods. It's a very, very valuable perspective and understanding of how these macro issues influence each other. And it's critically informative to identifying a political mandate that fits the challenges we face. And given the pending elections, both here in the UK and in the US, now is the time to increase awareness. But what sits with me today are issues closer to home that may feel more relatable. I can see and feel quite a deep fatigue across communities and societies at large, and I include myself, as well as all the big picture issues we are bombarded with. There are the day-to-day pressures that inevitably take up energy and headspace. And much of that is centred around money and health, or rather lack of it. The cost of living, interest rates, inflation, the costs of running a business, and everything that goes with that. And on top, you've got activists suggesting, and I include myself, that saving the planet needs to be at the top of everyone's list. And it's quite a challenge to argue why prioritising the reduction in carbon emissions shouldn't be number one on the list. But I also think that most people are under huge pressure and simply don't have the bandwidth to consider what that means and how they can help. And in turn, that means those in leadership positions, and it's not that they are not under pressure too, that those in positions of influence have by default now a role and mandate for baking in rules and practice into business that reduces carbon emissions, leading shifts through business policy, strategy and governance. Look at what Chapter Zero are offering in support of non-executive directors. Look at Olio and what they're doing around food waste. See what ARC 2030 are putting together and doing, or rethinking choices. And this all matters because despite the fatigue I've talked about, the issues still exist and still need to be mitigated. And those in leadership positions do bear greater responsibility and must own it. Tomorrow, are you getting close to your business tipping point for change? Join me for your own conversation and consultancy at wellintellect.com. Do follow, share, review, and of course, be well.